Hey guys, it's Kai from Lucas Land & Royals. Hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to show you my little tiny Axanthic collection. It's not much, but you'll get to see some holdbacks and a little insight as to the projects I'm working on. So I originally started with just one Axanthic, and I only had one for the longest time. The thought was to work that into my pie projects. Now she slowly grew on me. I'm really digging the way the Axanthic looks, its colors, or maybe I should say shades, because it's really just the black, the grays, and the whites, so all working together and contrasting together. And just, I like that look, and it's very clean. It feels, some people call it one-dimensional, but I kind of like that. And so what I like to do is either make it darker or make it brighter, and also, again, still working that into my pie projects. I just love pies. Unfortunately, at the time when I wanted to really beef up my Axanthic collection, there weren't any available that I wanted, so I ended up just making heads of my own. I'm going to go ahead and show you my little Axanthic collection. I'm going to start with the oldest adult females, and then work my way back to the hatchlings. Alright, so the first Axanthic I want to bring is this pinstripe. So she is Axanthic pinstripe. So she came to me from a gentleman who was kind of getting out of the hobby, or at least downsizing to the point where he can easily move his collection to his new home. And so he kept a couple for sentimental value reasons, and when he posted this girl on Facebook, I immediately jumped at it, and you know, back and forth conversations, and eventually we came to an agreement. I'm really happy with this purchase right here. So when she came to me, she was an adult, but she was a virgin, haven't been paired, haven't been bred, and she was very, very skittish. But now you can see she's totally fine. Still a little bit skittish, but this is typical ball python behavior. You know, even during feeding, she would be very friendly actually. She would come out of the tub, just completely ignore the food, and want to come out the tub and just crawl up my arm. It's nice, but I kind of want her just to eat her food, because she likes to just hang out. Now, seriously, this girl is gorgeous. You can see the silvers in her. She is a bit dark, but I think that's typical of an Axanthic pinstripe. She's not very browned out or anything like that. But her pattern is what really gets me. I mean, just look at how busy it is. This isn't very typical of pinstripe. I mean, pinstripe, within every morph there's variations, but if you look at this, this is not very typical. Typical pinstripe would be pretty much right here, as you can see, two center lines down the dorsal, and then just these striations along the side going down the side to the belly, and that's very typical of a pinstripe. But if you look, most of hers are broken up. They're just dots and dashes everywhere, little Y's and T's and L-shaped patterns. So this is not very typical. I'm wondering if she has something else. I sometimes see the special gene do this crazy pattern to a pinstripe, but again, there's variations to all morphs, and she has produced a clutch for me. She produced the very last clutch of 2018. So I'm going to show you that clutch, and you'll notice that even in that clutch there's variations with the hatchlings. Some of them with pinstripe have this broken up pattern. Some of them with pastel have a very busy pattern. So more busy than a typical pastel in my mind. Now, because she laid late in 2018, I think she's going to take this season off. I don't know if she's going to produce follicles this year. If she doesn't, that's perfectly fine with me. Reason being, I don't even know what to pair with her. I would rather her just take the season off. Alright, so enough about her. I'm going to go and get the next Axanthic, and I'll be right back. So this here is my Axanthic het pied female. This is going to be her second year of breeding. She does have follicles right now, so I don't want to move her around too much. She was paired last year to a Firefly het pied, and I actually did get one visual pied out of that pairing, out of that entire clutch, which I'll show you towards the end of this video. I actually have most of the siblings. I don't actually know what to pair to her for this season. You know, my thought was to row out one of her sons and pair him back to this mom, and yes, you can do that. You can pair back to the mom or pair back to the dad, whichever direction you want to go. Not for too many generations, just for a couple generations. I think that's fine. But yeah, that plan of breeding the son back to the mom didn't work out. So I don't actually know what to breed to her this season. I'm thinking of putting another visual pied to her and getting more het Axanthics. But the advantage putting a visual pied over a het pied like I did last year is I'll double the chances of getting a visual pied out of that pairing. I do have a Coral Glow pied. I don't know if I'm a fan of the Axanthic Coral Glow look. I do have also a Cinnamon pied, and I think that'll be pretty cool. That's going to be another long-term project. It's going to take probably a couple generations to get a Cinnamon Axanthic pied. So that'll look like a lightning pied, but the color regions will be a little darker and deeper, so therefore providing a little bit more contrast between the pattern part and the white part. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. That's probably what I'm going to be leaning towards, and I'll show you how that goes if I do get eggs. But she is developing follicles right now, so I don't want to disturb her too much. Hopefully I'll be able to get in that lock before she ovulates. Alright, so what I have here is this Axanthic spider. It's a shame this one is in shed. She is very silver in color. Like I said, she is a Axanthic spider, so she does carry the spider gene, which produces this awesome pattern. And I think this is an excellent This is an excellent example of a spider gene. Just look how reduced and clean it is. There's no spotting at all. And you can see how high the white travels up the side. And I really, really dig the way this girl looks. So the previous owner had picked her up as a pet for the family, and I guess over time as she grew bigger and taking larger prey, they kind of got uncomfortable with that. I think some of it's due to lack of education, but you know, their loss, my gain kind of thing. I'm kind of happy ending up with her because she is an excellent example of a Axanthic spider, and to me she's just beautiful, and I can't wait to get her into breeding. When I picked her up, she was about 500 grams, even though she was mistakenly posted for 800 grams, but she put on that weight very quickly. She's actually sitting at about 1,000 grams right now, and this is just, I don't know what other words to describe her except beautiful, because I really, really like the way she looks, and I can't wait until she is up to size. I'm going to be putting her to maybe some pastel, and adding pastel and mojaves hopefully to really lighten up the color even more. You know, I guess the goal for me with this girl is to make bumblebees, bumblebee combo, zebra bees, I mean, because Axanthic, when there's Axanthic in a bee, which is spider and pastel, putting Axanthic in there just becomes a zebra bee. So yeah, this is just really, really fantastic girl, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have her. So next I'm gonna go grab a clutch of hets, and I'll be right back. Alright, so unfortunately one of my cameras died, so I'm just gonna keep trucking on with one. But this is the next clutch. These were produced from the Axanthic het pied. The sire was a Firefly het pied. So I have one pied out of that clutch, which is this girl right here, and I'll show you her a little bit more later. These are all 100% het
for Axanthic and 66% het for pied. Got one fire male right here. Look at this guy. So I'm hoping to get him up to size, hopefully put him back to mom. And you can see he's got some nice pied markers, if he'll let me show it. Look at that. Look at those nice pied markers, just like the dad's pied markers. The dad has an extra dose of pastel, so a little bit brighter than this, but he's got the same type of pied markers running along the tail. Now over here I have, I guess these are pastels. I mean, they came out really, really bright out of the egg, and there was actually one more that was definitely a pastel. These look much brighter, so I may have misidentified them as fireflies. They don't look like fireflies anymore. As they aged a little bit, it was pretty obvious that they weren't fireflies, but they definitely look much better than the pastel that I ended up selling. This girl is in shed, but she's actually the better looking of the two. She's got a brighter color. But this one, I'll show you the belly. Again, these are all 66% het for pied, but just look at the pied marker on the bottom of this girl. Very nice pied markers. I'd be surprised if she didn't prove out. And if we take a look at this other one, even though she is the better looking one, usually when she's not in shed, not so strong of a pattern here. The tracks are not as dark and connected as the other girl, but we'll see. I'm going to keep both of them just because, you know, double het to double het breedings, you know, when you're working with trying to produce double visuals, the odds are usually pretty low. Especially with hets and especially with double hets. So I'm gonna keep both of them and maybe breed them out to a future male that I'll either acquire or breed myself. Alright, so I want to bring back this girl because I didn't show her off enough. So this one, I think, hit all the genes. So it's all the genes except for Axanthic, obviously. So I think she's got pastel, fire, and pied. With this girl, when compared to her two sisters that I just showed you, she's going to be able to double the odds of producing double visuals because she is already a pied herself, and being 100% het for Axanthic. If I just put her back to a visual Axanthic, let's say, then I have a 50% chance of producing an Axanthic. If I put her to a double visual Axanthic pied, I have a 50% chance of producing Axanthic pieds. So yeah, I wanted to show her off. She is, you know, pastel sometimes is hard to see in pieds, but when you couple it with another gene, it really shows itself. With the other two girls, like I said, they were just really, really nice looking pastels. They are a lot better than the other pastel that came out of the clutch, that's for sure. The male that I got from R&B Reptiles, Ryan and Ben, they did tell me that they think there is another gene in that male, and they were trying to isolate it. So maybe that other gene is at play, I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Just really excited and anxious to get these girls up to size, and the male as well, and then breed it back to, you know, a mom or another sibling or another animal that I might acquire over the next couple of years. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so here's the next clutch I want to show you. These are produced from the Axanthic pinstripe that I either suspect or am just dreaming that there is something else going on with her because of her busy pinstripe pattern. But this is a clutch that she produced. Not all the hatchlings are not here, but I just pulled a few to show you. We'll start with the set of pastels here. You can see this one is a very typical looking pastel. Very nice looking. It's got some crazy patterns, good colors coming up the sides. And then you get to this guy. Now, just out of the egg, he looked different. He was much darker, the pattern was a lot more busier, especially around the neck area. So there could be something going on, or it could just be me trying to see things that are not there. But let me know what you guys think. So this is the pair of pastels. Okay, now moving on to this pair of Lemon Blasts. This girl is in shed, so she's not as vibrant. But if you take a look at their pattern, you can see, I'll show you this one first. You can see down the back, it's still busy, right? It's still busy, a little bit more busier than a pinstripe. You know, they're obviously not connected, but that's okay. That might be the pastel influence. But then compare that to this one here, and you can just see how much more busy it is than this. Just look at the pattern. Obviously the colors are off because she's in shed, but just look at how much busier her pattern is compared to this one over here. Right, so that's kind of why I'm suspecting there could be something else, but again, every morph, every combo is going to be different. They're going to show different variations within each morph, so just let me know what you guys think. You know, the only way to know for sure is to prove them out, so only time will tell.
So recessives take a long time. Axanthic is one of those recessive genes. So is Pied, so is Hypo, so is Desert Ghost, and I'm working with all of them, trying to combine them into one snake, so that might take a long time. I'm going to take some baby steps starting with double recessives, which will definitely take a long time, and then I'm going to work my way up to triple recessives, which will probably take exponentially long, but somehow I figure I will try to do my best to get to that point. I think breeding is just part of the fun of this hobby, and so the shortcut would be obviously just to go and buy the animal if you can find it, if you can afford it, but the next best option would be to make your own, so that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like. If you're new to this channel and want to be informed of future uploads, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, please share, and I'll see you guys next time.